And what's up, fight fans? This is Counterpunch with Counterpunch Boxing News. Round is the Counterpunch Boxing Travel, of course, because I'm en route. You guys tell me what's about. Roll in. I'll let people come on in and we can start the chat. As of right now, we're just using. We got one on the chat. Counterpunch to you. First on the chat. Dem boy. Yo, counter to you. We got two on the chat. When you guys come in or come through or check in, hit the counterpunch but I'm actually surprised. What's up, bro? Everything's good. Just travel. A lot going on. I'm actually coming into some here in a few. So, but no, everything's good. Everything's good. Relaxing day. I am headed almost into the Austin area. You know, as I roll. We have three on the chat. Counterpunch to each and every one of you guys. Hit the like button as you check in. Let's talk about some boxing. Let's start with the thumbnail. The thumbnail. Tyson Fury. I seen him hitting the heavy bag. Now, when I saw him hitting the heavy bag, I was thinking to myself, he wasn't looking as fast as he normally does. We had 5 on the 6 on the chat. Hit the like button, please. Check the like check. Like check. But I look at Tyson, and he looks like he's in good shape. I mean, but he needs it because of his mental illness. We all know that. I mean, that's no secret, right? It's no secret that Tyson Fury, he treats his mental illness with different workouts, running, jogging, these things. But I really wasn't impressed. Andreas Martin, greetings to you. Counterpunch to you. Fury is going to beat Joshua if he beats Wilder, in my opinion. Boy, listen, I got a counterpunch. You can't compare a performance with one fighter with another performance of a totally different fighter fighting a totally different style. Okay, it would be different if Anthony Joshua fought similar to Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua were similar, okay, in style and technique. I could see the ideology of it, of what you said, but I can't because they don't fight anything alike. Joshua's a tough fighter, 6'5", 6'6". He's a hooker. He likes to fight on the inside, being a taller fighter. I think he has the short, tall man syndrome, Joshua. So let me explain. Not the same thing. When you are accustomed to seeing certain fighters fight, especially shorter fighters, but you're a taller guy with different attributes, okay, longer arms, you tend to not use your height, okay? That's what Joshua does time. That's how he got caught with Andy Ruiz, because Andy was a shorter fighter. Gave up his height because he thought Andy Ruiz was ready to fold, and he was not. He gave up all his attributes, okay? He wasn't faster out of the two. He put himself mid-range. He left himself for a counter, and that's what happened. He got counterpunched with left hook to the temple, and he never recovered, okay? That's Joshua. Hard guy, good uppercut, good left hook. Decent piercing jab, straight right is plus also. That's Joshua. Wilder does not fight anything like Joshua. In fact, Wilder is a guy that uses his height. That's how he's able to do what he done all that time, because he was always in position to throw the right hand, and the right hand was present being landed. Okay, how he got a lot of those guys out of there. Washington, Ortiz, what's the Swedish guy that just destroyed, put him out on the stretcher. I keep forgetting his name. I'm not sure why. I had it at the tip of my tongue. You know, he got those guys out there with one punch. Right? Joshua and Wilder are in different categories. Joshua much more technically sound. Well, this is what I'll say. Joshua practices it more. Okay, that's the difference. No, and then the thing is, a lot of people say, well, Wilder don't have it. It ain't the fact that he probably doesn't have it. He just probably doesn't use it. You know, and maybe, and I can understand people saying he don't have it because he didn't show us he had it in the last one. But then again, like I'm to explain to you guys, Deontay Wilder fights tall. He fights tall, which is a smart thing because he knows that, hey, I got this one shot, and that one shot is all I need. Okay? The one shot is all I need for that type of punishment. You think White will win the rematch? Ooh, you know something? He could. You know, but understand this. He's one punch from getting knocked out. Reyes Martin, that was my main channel at the moment, covering. They're looking promising. So it's under construction. It was attacked. It was bombed. You know, so it's showing its resilience at the moment. So we'll see as time permits. We'll definitely see. We'll definitely help. Okay. I might have a chance against Theory. Just watch Dillian versus Alexander Povetkin. Yeah, see, that's the thing people don't think about. Great counterpunch, Chris. You know, but I will say this. The difference between Wilder and Povetkin set that up. Not saying Wilder didn't set up those punches, but he didn't have a game plan. His game plan was only to land, not his game plan and let me use the jab to set up the right. No. Wilder goes in and wings it. He goes in and he wings it. And that's exactly what he does. And that's exactly what he did. He winged it. Winged it until he said, okay, there it is. Boom. You know, the game plan was hit him with the right. That's the game plan. You know, Wilder, what's your game plan? Hit him with the right. Okay. Povetkin set that shot up round after round. Kept going to the body. You know, Dillian's brother put that out. If you guys see that interview with Dean, and Dean pointed that out, that Povetkin went to the body more than he normally does. So he was setting that up. So that was strategy. Okay? That was strategy. Poor connection, Kurt, my man. It shouldn't be. Hit him with the right. Yeah. You know, just hit it with the right. Skill's a myth. You know, that's the type of shit that Wilder did. So, yeah, and it's one of them things where if Wilder sees the punch, he's going to throw it. It's not like if you do something over and over and over again, you're going to get better at it. And he's got better at it. You know, but it's simple but very deadly, very effective. You know, but however, Povetkin set that shot up with Dillian Whyte because Dillian Whyte wasn't just throwing caution to the wind, throwing bombs at this guy. You know? No, you're blurry. How about now, Chris? Because I have 5 bars. I don't know why it should be blurry. Oh, that's weird. Hold on a second. Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, this is a bad area right now. Just bear with me. Let's see. I want to see more of White. Yeah, you know, White. I would like to see that also because, you know, based on some shit he said about other fighters being knocked out versus his own, instead of focusing on his own, is not really a good look for White. It ain't, you know. him, that cross comparison of losses. You both lost. You both lost. It is what it is. So, damn, this has a lot of traffic. Let's see. All right, how's the perception? How's the connection now? KO of White up there with KO of the year. Underrated in my opinion. It was when he looked, Povetkin knocked him. That's the first thing I said. Knockout of the year. I mean, we ain't seen that many fights this year, so I mean, I don't see why people would argue with that. You know what I mean? Like if it was some shit like Povetkin KO of White. If it was some shit like we had knockouts all through the year, okay, at least we have something to compare it to. But no, it's crazy. Let's see. I have 3 bars. I don't know. Maybe it's the weather, because the weather ain't all that great. Because again, they have a tropical storm brewing in the down here. Skrilla 50, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. But no, Tyson Fury, I'm looking back at him. We're looking at his training. Maybe this is just early. However, that was a huge bag. I think that bag was about a 200-300 pound bag. It was a huge bag. It looked like that bag that Rocky Marciano had, and he used to just whack that thing. Being that, a guy that small, hitting a bag that big, Graham Taylor, counterpunch to you. Satir Treco, hello, counterpunch to yourself. But no, I definitely think that. Okay, go ahead, bud. But anytime Christmas, people can't drive. Okay, do you think Fury will ever fight another ranked fighter after Wilder? He's only fought 2 top guys. You know what, Mark? He has to show us. I can't say yay or nay. Tyson Fury has to show us that he's not the same old fucking gangster that might pull a magic trick out of his hat and then fly off in the sunset for whatever reason. Because that's what we saw. There is no way without fans. Well, you know what? Look, there's always a way. There's always a way. I think someone's mental will be affected because you're energized by the crowd. I get that. I love the crowd. I love the oohs and ahs, right? I love a live fight. But look, we're in a time, man, that everybody again has to account and has to understand that we must adapt as a society. If those fights can happen because of a crowd, it's still sad because other fighters were able to fight. You know what I mean? So everybody else should too. Everybody else should know what that experience is like. Yeah, I remember I fought in the bubble. It was a massive fight, but I fought in the bubble. There was no crowd because of Corona. And the people could look back on it. They experienced the same thing, But we're able to overcome. Look, just like in like all the major sports in America, think about it. Baseball, football, basketball, there is no crowd. We must do the same thing. Who would you pick to win, Tyson versus Jones? Ugh, I don't know. Which Roy Jones? We talking about Roy Jones back in the day? I don't know. I think Roy would get Fury, but then Fury's so damn big and tall. He would probably swarm Roy just like Calzaghe did. So that's a hard fight to call. Good, them boy, yeah, or them boy. That's a pretty good question. Do you think Wilder versus Tyson would have been another Tyson versus Riddick type of a match? You think Wilder versus Tyson would be another time? I don't know. I don't know. like Mike Tyson and Wilder. I don't know, because see, what scares me about Wilder is if Mike, a prime Mike, gets to hitting Wilder doesn't know how to lay down. If you notice, yeah, you can knock him down, but he'll get back up. Chris Serrano, brother, counterpunch to you. And then I can see that fight, him taking a lot of punishment. And I don't want to see that. I don't want him doing some Apollo Drago kind of stuff when it comes to Wilder, because Wilder was taking a lot of punishment, and they stopped that fight. And then even when the fight was stopped, Wilder was like, "Why did you stop the fight? Why? What? You know?" It's like, dude, you fucking bleeding all over the place. That's why. You know, your blood was running all out your head. You know what I mean? And you know, you wouldn't really fight. I mean, even though he threw a punch before, the towel was thrown in, but still, a guy like Wilder don't know how to retreat. He's like, no retreat, no surrender. You know what I mean? But a lot of times it'll cost you your death. Let's look at it this way. Do you remember Superman Stevenson? Grosnick, right? Grosnick. And you know what happened to him. I don't want to see Wilder like that. I mean, that ain't nothing cool about that type of shit. Want to prove you tough. Now you can't play with your family. Now you can't spend time with your friends. You know what I mean? You can't do certain things because you taking a beating in the ring, or nobody just called it and pulled rank and took you out of that fight. That ain't cool, and nothing cool about that. I'm with Floyd Mayweather with that. There's nothing cool about taking unnecessary punishment. Counterpunch. Our Mike needs to stay in his lane. He's still a beast, but too old. Yeah, Jim. Mike, I think he's doing that though. I don't think Mike is jumping up and saying this, saying that, and the other. I think that's why he's fighting Roy. Fight somebody 50 and up. Fight James Toney. He's fighting Roy. Somebody in the late 40s would do. Hell, I'll stomach a Ortiz Tyson. Ortiz called out Tyson. People forget about that. People forget about that shit, man. They really do. They forget Luis Ortiz called out Tyson, and he's said to be older than everybody. So that no one will have that, because the first thing they say, man, Ortiz fighting Tyson. Hell, Ortiz is the same age anyway. He's probably older than Tyson. Just tuned in, Rishi. Counterpunch to you. The longer the delay, the worse it will be for Wilder, I think. Sugar Hill and Tyson for a grueling jailing Willie Rell. Yeah, they do. You're absolutely right. Straight 1-2. Fury is throwing and jumping with his. Fury and Javon, they got a nice thing, It's like some Manny Pacquiao, Freddie Roach shit. If you got a good partnership and you can communicate with certain people, that's what it is. If you can communicate with certain people, and you have that relationship, you can go, like that Gennady Golovkin, Abel Sanders. I really hate the way that ended, though. Speaking of those guys, I mean, because Gennady Golovkin, I don't know who was at fault. They kind of went back and forth, but anyway, they do get along very well. They do get along very well. They jail really well, and I think what it is, it's a completion of the way Emmanuel Stewart treated his fighters. If you look at Emmanuel Stewart, they weren't just fighters; they're a part of his family. And I think Tyson Fury is paying it forward by, in fact, doing the same thing and practicing the same thing as. Okay, I know where I'm at. Okay, practicing the same thing as Emmanuel Stewart used to practice with, like guys like Andy Lee. And he took Andy Lee in. So Tyson Fury's like, bet I'm gonna do the same thing, because I seen how Emmanuel Stewart took in my family, which was Andy Lee. So he's doing the same thing with Javon Sugar. You guys get me? So it was a good thing. You know, that's one of the very huge benefits of paying it forward and treating people right. You know, Ortiz called out Tyson Fury back in 1980. You know, Mike Tyson, you know, I'm ready to fight you, bitch. Estoy listo para lo que sea, you know. Mike Tyson, you know. Oh man, you guys are crazy. It's one of those things where Tyson Fury, Javon Sugar Hill, you know, he ain't in a hotel or anything like that, you know. That's good. You know, he's spending time with the family. That's how a relationship, a trainer-fighter relationship should be, for very many reasons, because you want to have that relationship intact. Why? Because the fighter, the trainer, you know, they're involving themselves in war, okay? Tyson Fury's putting his life on the line. Any fighter's putting your life on the line, okay? The trainer's responsibility is to take care of the fighter, because the trainer knows that this guy, this athlete, is putting his life on the line. So yeah, there should be a relationship, you know, a very close relationship between the two. No homo, right? You know, nothing like that. No sexual kind of stuff. I mean, an understanding of this is where we need to be, because you need to get to this area, this place, because we want you to perform to protect yourself and you to get in to be successful as you possibly can be. Hamed, what happened to the other channel? The other channel is under construction at the moment. So this is round 2. Ding, ding. Wilder built his reputation on beating the one-trick pony. Well, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. But it's all about marketing at the end of the day. It's about marketing. Tyson Fury knew. You know, if you notice, Tyson Fury will go in on Wilder. He will go hard on Wilder sometimes. But then he has to remind himself, yo, I have to give him some type of accolades, because if I don't, thank you, Hamed. Appreciate you, brother. Keep watching. He has to give Wilder some accolades, because it makes no sense to just rip away a fighter's attributes and you beat him. Then what did you really do? You don't break it down a fighter and beat him down, then you end up beating him. Then everybody will say, well, you already said that and you already debunked his resume and that and the other. What did you do so special? So Tyson Fury's not stupid. You know, he might say that he's a ghoster, he's a one-trick pony, he's this, that, and the other. But at the same breath, his ass will say he's the hardest puncher in heavyweight history. There's no doubt about it. Very dangerous fighter. You know what I mean? What is your prediction of Loma versus Lopez? Lopez by knockout, or Loma by 12-round destruction and making Teofimo quit. Those are the outcomes. In a nutshell. Johnny Blaze, 33. Salute, brother. BRJH Sports and Entertainment. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. What's your thought on Tyson's Travelers Lives Matter protest today? You know what? I'm going to do a video on that, and I'm actually uploading a video as we speak. That's probably what's wrong with the connection if it didn't improve. But because someone sent me, I didn't get a chance to look at it, because again, I'm traveling, so I didn't want to look too much into it. We'll look at it and counterpunch it, you know, when I get to my destination, which is not too far. Mark Reeland used to box. Yes, Mark Reeland did used to box Ricky Torre. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't see why he's getting a ton of praise. No. It's basically, here's the thing. It's weird to say Tyson Fury, he did dethrone Wilder. He did. But Wilder's kryptonite, or the thing that people questioned, was his opposition. So if he was the only person that beat Wilder, okay, you know, that's true. I mean, he's the only person that did that, but is he the only person that can do that? So only time will tell to see, you know, if when everything's said and done, the next 3 or 4 fights after this fight, You know, because if no one else is able to do that to Wilder, and Wilder starts back knocking people out, you know, in which I'm so glad. I've heard some things that, you know, inside sources about Wilder that I'm glad that I liked hearing. Okay, so I'll leave that for another day. But if Wilder starts knocking people out, but he couldn't get Fury, okay, no one else has did that but Fury. So guess what? He has to be, you have to give him some type of praise for that. Why? Because nobody else could do it, especially the top guys. What if Wilder fights White, knocks out White? What if Wilder fights Joshua, knocks out Joshua? What if Wilder fights Povetkin, knocks out Povetkin? You know, even man being 41 years of age. But if no one else could do what Tyson Fury did, you know, that's why people look at Floyd, you know, and Canelo, or Floyd and Pacquiao, or Floyd and a lot of fighters that he gave them their first L. You know, I know Canelo should have lost some of those. You know, Canelo on points, that was a real deal, because there was no reason for that. Who do you got if they fight Tank or Ryan? You know what? Ask me that question after he fights Luke Campbell, because I really want to see Ryan tested first. I can't make it, you know what I mean? Because I haven't seen the guy. Something tells me that Ryan Garcia, he's a good fighter, witty, cocky, confident, quick, fast, has a huge following. Something tells me he don't have a chin. So I really want to know what he looks like if he gets hit. You know, and if anybody that could do it would be Tank. Tank could hit Ryan and knock him out, and knock his block off. So, Damon hit the truth, or can he be the one over Loma? I'm not sure. All these guys have to fight each other to know where they're at. Devin Haney's he's a very talented fighter, and Floyd, what Floyd's done, he's sharing his time by training these guys. I guess Floyd is finally waking up and realizing it's not all about him, but Floyd will keep doing something that keeps money in his pocket. Facts. However, he knows, I'm not going to be young. I'm not going to be able to move like this, and there are younger fighters before me that I owe this to, and I appreciate Floyd for that. I really do. You know, he's helping these fighters to be the best that they can be, especially with the skills that they already have. And with his tutelage, he can help these guys go above and beyond. But I don't really think he expects them to do or create bigger numbers than himself. Now, I don't really think that about Floyd, but I think Floyd is to a point where he is opening his heart out and open to that that reality that, yo, I need to train these guys, and these guys need me, you know? So, you know, I again, it's good. White versus Povetkin too, who you got? Man, that's a 50-50 fight. Okay, Kurt, what about what? Mike Tyson versus John Fury, an ear for an eye. Just joking. Ricky. He pulls Mike Tyson's eye out. Mike Tyson bites his ear off. Damn. No, Mike would beat him anyway. I've seen John Fury. You know, like, you know, because John called out Mike, and it's almost like one of them suicide things. I'll die in the ring. You may die in the ring, buddy, if you fight Mike, because he's not going to be able to hit Mike. You know what I mean? He's going to be stiff. He's older. I think he's aged more. You know what I mean? People age at different levels, and I think John Fury, he's a mean, high-strung, older man. You know, yeah, in a bar fight, sure, but in a professional boxing match, no, Mike will kill him. Mike will kill him. Heard a lot of boxing fans don't believe that Tyson Fury. Don't believe that Tyson Fury what? Curtis Place. Pulev versus AJ. Can Pulev KO? Hell yeah, Pulev can KO Joshua. Shit, it's a heavyweight division. Anybody can KO anyone. Look, especially, the shit can happen. Why did you change YouTube channels? I didn't change YouTube channels, John Foy. What I did was I created a new one. The other one is under construction at the moment. It will be back. God says the same. Love the content, Bo, but you didn't put it out there, and I watched. No, I will though. In given time, in due time. Oh. Okay, duty calls, I guess. The dollar determines an outcome. Only a stone cold KO can sway it. Big up, Kurt. Stephen White. Yep. KOs are definite. If you knock someone out, you can't do anything about it. Nobody can buy a knockout. Now people can take a dive. Comes out to fight Fury with Mayweather's shoulder roll. Yeah, that would be some funny shit. And what that means? That means that they'll probably both be doing the shoulder roll. Punching power was genuine. Okay, that punching power was genuine that night, and they are not Wilder fans either. There's some Tyson Fury fans who have questioned his newfound punching power as well. You know something, Curtis? The only way we're gonna know that is, can he do it again? That would be the only thing. Can he do it? Will he do it again? Will that happen? Will he be able to hurt Wilder again? Okay, so and I know that's the the glove gate mentioning and bringing that up, but look, we're gonna see in the next fight. We're gonna see what he can do, and that'll really tell everything. Because you can fool people with certain things once on both sides, but you can't fool them twice on both sides. So in other words, if there was some injustice in that fight, he won't be able to do it again. Or if there was new foreign punching power with Tyson Fury, he should be able to show it again. And then the other side can't say it wasn't punching power. It'll just look stupid because now you got beat up by a guy that's a fellow duster, pillow puncher. And then there will be no excuses. I predict the biggest windmills in the stratosphere from Wilder. He better throw something. I'd rather see the windmills instead of what I saw last fight. You know what I mean? That kind of look he gave, that spooked out look, I didn't like that. I mean, and that didn't really look healthy for Wilder. That looked like something was wrong. You know what I mean? Now, and then if you look at the way Wilder looked, that kind of okay. My apologies, guys. Had some technical difficulties. Something, but yeah. But so the next fight will prove it all. It'll show it all. It will tell it all. Okay, so just wait for the third fight with all the other stuff. I believe anyone that size can carry power. He wasn't. He hasn't. He was definitely sitting down on those punches. Yeah, he was. I mean, you got to look at it. This guy was almost 300 pounds. Anybody at 300 pounds, I think the problem is this. This is the problem. If the shit wasn't rigged, it makes Wilder look stupid because he was the one that was saying, "Yo, you can't punch." Then you got beat up by a guy that can't punch. But here's the thing. Honestly, if I'm Wilder and I'm convinced that Fury cannot punch, I'm going to also be convinced that the freaking guy had to be cheating me if he hit me that hard and I knew that he can't punch. I would be convinced too, like, no, ain't no way the dude hit me, man. I seen 4 of them. Somebody else hit me or something. Javon kind of snuck me, behind the ropes or something, outside the ropes. He hit me with something. Joshua will KO Pulev in round 4. Hey, bold prediction. He's a hooker. So, Pulev is one of those guys that, he gets caught with a left hook, that could be a wrap. All day, every day. Counterpunch that like button. I heard that. Wilder's way too quiet. Greg Reed, Counterpunch. He is. He's way too quiet. I don't know why. Maybe he's just training. A lot of people think he's embarrassed. A lot of people think he's, this is strategy. A lot of people say a lot of things, but until he says something, we won't know. Now, will we? You answered it right. It's an embarrassment. Do you think Wilder will want to avoid a press tour again for the third fight, Kurt? Charlo twin fans, let me tell you this. If we see what's going on in this area, I don't even think there will be a press conference. If you think about the condition of the world, why would they put a press conference now? That shit might be virtual or something like that. When is the third fight? It's supposed to be on the 19th of December. That's the schedule, but of course that can change. But yeah, we didn't really have much of one last time. Because remember, they wouldn't really marketing that fight, and I was wondering, like, why the hell not? What are they doing? Why aren't you marketing the fight? How many times did you watch that fight? I can't stand watching it. It was embarrassing and heartbreaking the way he lost. Yeah, it just showed that he didn't have what people thought he had. But I don't see why people are surprised, because he hasn't showed us much more than that. A person that shows you that he can knock you out with one punch knockout power, how can you expect him to be a combination fighter that fights himself off the ropes when the guy's mauling him? He ain't showed us that. Okay, yeah, you got a great gift, a great skill with hitting someone, boom, with that one knockout power. You got that. But what happens when a guy brings it to you, takes it to you, mauls you, smothers you, right? And then controlling you with his body weight, his hand speed, and he's hitting you with short punches. You know what Tyson Fury did to Wilder? He pulled a Sean Porter on Wilder. He Sean Portered him. Okay, he smothered him with punches. Wilder's got long, rangy hands. He couldn't even land his own punch. He couldn't get any leverage off of them. The punches that he could catch him with, they weren't flush. They were chopping punches. Okay, they were like arm punches, that you couldn't put anything in them, And then a guy smothering you at the same time. He has you in a headlock. He's, putting his body weight on you. He's taking juice out of your back. On top of that, he's 10 pounds heavier. See, a lot of people don't even think about that. Okay, so, JD's had to make an excuse for him. And then that is, I think, created a lot of that rumor about the costume. JD's did not have to say that. He should have kept his mouth shut. So the question you ask yourself, if he would have kept his mouth shut, would we have still had that rumor about the costume? Because that was very embarrassing too. And what's sad is Wilder did not say the shit. And if I'm Wilder, I would have had to speak for myself. I'm sorry. Like, yo, no. It was not the costume. Okay. I did not say that. I don't know how it started, but I want it to stop. Counterpunch. He could have done that. Not just sit there and reading article after article and video after video. How do you see Fury versus Joshua? Hamed. I say it will be a pretty good fight, and I think who will beat the first punch would be, that's who would win. He will go back to beating up Taco Bell employees. I hope he does step his game up. you know. But he should. He should, guys. But anyway, do you think Wilder fights again if he does? See, Chaos, I tell you what, I'm going to leave you guys with, I got some good information about that, and I will give it to you in a video. I got to hit the road. I got to run. But everybody on the chat, you guys been Counterpunch. Thanks for hanging out with me for this half an hour or so. I will have a few more videos for you guys here in a couple hours. Stay tuned for that. And everybody has been Counterpunched. Peace.